Please, do not be alarmed. I am neither monster nor murderer, though that is the duality of existence that defines San these days. My name is siosa, and I have the bleak honor of being the sole scholar to the Imperious Intellection, this grand repository of knowledge you see about you. May reason preserve us. In more mundane circumstances, it would be preposterous to ask this of you, an utter stranger, but given that I don't know in which century I might see another pair of flesh and bone hands, there's a door, you see, concealed behind the shelves. It leads into the archives. That's where Isius Perandus concealed his golden pages. Can you see how maddening that would be for me? No, of course you can't. Ridiculous of me to... Suffice to say that they are beyond my reach. 4 Valish texts they are, of priceless historical insight. Please, find my friend's golden pages and bring them to me. You will be rewarded. I vow it before the ancestors. It is the Karwi way to observe nature in nature. The fish without the sea is no longer a fish. It is dinner. The Eternals did not see it that way. An Eternal catches the fish, guts the fish, preserves the fish, and places it in a box. Only then does the Eternal feel he truly understands the fish. It was a Karwi Motiata that discarded my failing body of flesh in favor of canvas and oil. An ancient song and a momentary lapse in judgment that I've had more than enough time to regret. Remember, life is precious.
You there, a moment of your time. Yes, you'll do. Now listen carefully, for I do disdain repetition. There are those who live for greater things in Rayclast, and then there are those who just live. One of the latter is out there right now, grasping at our future with greedy little fingers. Kill this selfish malcontent, and do it with all possible speed. Though they have deeply disappointed me, I still rather like this particular villain. Make it quick, and relatively painless.
You there! Let me bend your ear for a moment. Even more full of yourself than last time, I see. The bigger the head, the badder the fall, my old man used to say. Walk around Rayclast with an attitude like that, and you're going to wind up in some undying's larder. Allow me to arrange the beating of some sense back into you. So here's how this works. You take a crack at me, your very best shot. I make you fight for your life. Right now, I haven't quite decided exactly how. Just be ready for anything. I win, you die. You win, and I'm not actually sure, to tell the truth. Doesn't happen very often. Are you game? I've had rougher tussles in bed. Who taught you how to fight? Your mum? Now here I was going on about your inflated head, but it was my head that got shrunk faster than a pair of testicles in an ice bath. I won't be underestimating you again in a hurry. Well now, don't the spirit of Duresso smile on you. I'm still his favorite, of course, but he's got plenty of love to go around. Speaking of sharing the love, come see me on your next jaunt into the San encampment. I reckon we've got some talking to do. Heard you have a posse to call your own now. Don't ask me how I know. A good fighter needs more than one pair of eyes. Now, settling down can be a tricky business. My 3 ex-wives will tell you that. As luck would have it, I've been looking around for a cozy nook in which to set down my stone wheel. How about it? Need someone like me to sharpen up the place?
You there, a moment of your time. Yes, you'll do. Now listen carefully, for I do disdain repetition. There are those who live for greater things in Rayclast, and then there are those who just live. One of the latter is out there right now, grasping at our future with greedy little fingers. Kill this selfish malcontent, and do it with all possible speed. Though they have... The tool is sharper than it first appeared. Look for me in the San encampment should you wish to relieve me of further obstacles. You will be suitably compensated. Even the finest thread cannot comprehend the tapestry to which it is bound. It is time you and I discussed our future, my useful friend. Meet me in the San encampment at your earliest convenience. I used to be quite the lockpick back in Oriath. No vault nor bedchamber was safe from me. Now I have a new type of key, the Virtue Gem. Put the right key in the right lock, and you open up a world of possibility. Aid me in my cause, and I'll be inclined to offer you some of those possibilities at a reasonable price. And the more you help me, the more I can potentially offer you. Such is the fundamental rule of commerce. So look for me out there in the wastelands, Exile. By then I'm sure to have found another way for you to improve our mutual situation. Word has it that you've recently founded yourself a hideout. As it happens, I am currently of no fixed abode and could do with a quiet spot to work on my gems, connect a few more dots, as it were. Secrets for shelter. Sound like a fair trade? Gems represent the one true power here in Rayclast. The Vaal understood this, the Eternals also. Now it is our turn to study and exploit these most precious of stones. Geomancy I have come to call the field, and of one thing I am certain. It is we geomancers who shall inherit this fallen empire, who shall raise this realm to its former glory and beyond. I have much that I might impart to you on the subject, but whether you are worthy of such enlightenment, well, that remains to be seen. It is not how a man lives, but how a man dies that truly matters. Katarina's cadaverous sculptures mock us in what should be our finest moment. Tora thinks almost as poorly as she smells. You cannot start a new world by simply slaughtering the old. Pay no heed to that primitive. I have never heard a man waste so many words on saying nothing. Vagan is a linguistic mass murderer, yet put a sword in his hand and he becomes a disturbingly efficient communicator. One of these days I'm going to sheathe my daggers in Elrion's faith-blind eyes. When a man takes on religion, he locks up his mind and throws away the key. When it comes to knowledge and power, we Oriathans have always looked to our dearly departed empire. From what I've learned of Haku, we should have been looking closer to home.
I don't take a man's life in a duel. I earn it. Varici steals lives like he steals everything else.
By the ancestors, it's good to see fresh words in front of me. Now, my translation skills are not what Isius were. I can achieve a meager paraphrase at best. But a little knowledge is better than none, is it not? Let us begin. This tapestry of truth is a threadbare cloth indeed, but at least you have allowed me to begin the first few stitches in its restoration, and to settle the memory of a dear friend. In return, allow me to give you this. A little practical wisdom to improve your lot. My word. Vaalish contextualized syntax is a slippery eel indeed. Let me see if I can grab it by the gills. They carried their virtue gems to Doriani's bed. No, that's not quite right. Ah, yes. Doriani's cradle. The historian finishes that it was a price they needed to pay to ensure a Vaalish future. A cradle of virtue gems? What sort of Vaalish future did Doriani hope to ensure? Splendid. Let's see what this page has to offer us. It talks of Queen Atsiri. Now, here's a portentous line. She drenches her altars with the blood of those deranged enough to question her vision. The next piece is a real eye-crosser, but I believe it refers to a communion. Something to do with the harvest moon? Again, Doriani seems at the heart of it. Good. This line I can read without issue. This will be our final night of fear, our final night of suffering. Sacrifice, communion, the harvest moon. An unsettling combination. Oh my. This first line is frighteningly clear. Our queen is dead. Doriani is dead. So many have fallen, so many have changed. The latter text is almost indecipherable. It practically hums with agitation. Let me see. I can make out the words sleep, nightmare, and the beast. Whatever that may be. Our historian finishes with, "We have succeeded where our forebears did not. We have failed ourselves." I need not imagine the fall of the Val. I saw the nightmare with my own eyes. Strange. I was put in charge of dating the most antiquated of texts. This parchment, it's a remarkable copy, but it's no original. Much younger. Oh my. Listen to this. My dearest Isius, I have been enlightened beyond expectation. Your work in translating these artifacts is worthy of the highest recompense, and thus I am delighted to offer you a position in my personal laboratory. Please do not give your escorts any consternation. I would be most pained to see such a precious asset damaged in any way. I very much look forward to working with you. Isius Perandus, your friend and admirer, Malachi. Poor Isius. Wherever you went, my pity goes with you. I suppose every civilization has its Doriani, its Malachi, men of divine talent and demented ambition. Without them, history would be a far less interesting place. How Malachi survived the Purity Rebellion, I don't know. He was at Emperor Vol's side before Chitis' corpse was even cold. I suppose Vol found him as difficult to refuse as Isius did. Malachi would never have risen so far without the patronage of an emperor like Chitis. It would appear that Doriani and Queen Atsiri shared a similar relationship. It was said of the beautiful Atsiri that she wished to see her likeness reflected in the still waters of history. Chitis was no less self-impressed. Of all the sins, vanity is the most hideous. San fell in the course of an hour, no more. A tempest raged down from the mountains and engulfed the city, throwing it into midday darkness. I saw madness in my colleagues' eyes, watched as the most rational men in the Empire jabbered and slavered and slaughtered each other. I witnessed Trinian, our gemling intellectus prime, engulfed by the radiance of his flaming cranial gem, and wither like a grape in the sun into a thing of desiccation and famishment. I've seen mountains spew fire in Ngamakanui. I've seen waves as tall as trees and winds that leveled warriors and walls alike. Nature is what nature is. There was nothing natural about the cataclysm.